Hi, my name is Mira and I play soccer on the University of Regina women's soccer team. Mental health in sport is important because sport is supposed to be like an escape, and it's supposed to be accessible for everyone. I think being active and being involved in athletics is really important for a lot of people, and it's a good way for me especially to just like forget about everything else that's going on and focus on one thing specifically. But when mental health issues get in the way and when there are people around you that create like a negative environment, then that just makes it so much more difficult to have a good time. Yes, so in my rookie year with the Cougars, I actually got a concussion in the first week of training. It took me about a year and 2 months to fully be cleared and get back to practicing, which was obviously like really difficult for anyone. But when I was getting back into training and slowly like increasing what I was able to do, I was still getting symptoms, but according to like the return to training protocol, I wasn't supposed to be experiencing symptoms. It was really difficult for me to figure out whether or not I was actually experiencing symptoms or if it was just my head telling me that I was experiencing symptoms. So I just found it really difficult. On top of that, I was receiving pressure, even if it wasn't direct, I was still receiving pressure from my coaches and from my teammates to return to training. In the soccer community in Saskatchewan in general, there aren't like mandated mental health resources or anything, but I was lucky enough to have good coaches who did things outside of just our practices and our games. We did like nutrition sessions, but we also did some like mental health and mental toughness sessions as well. I'm fortunate enough that one of my coaches right now is like the mental health advisor for the University of Regina, so he's been a really great help and he's made it very clear that he's there and he's like willing to talk to you. But for me personally, I found like patience to be really important. So especially when dealing with my concussion, it was so frustrating to just sit there and not do anything, and I knew that there was nothing I could do to like get me back into playing other than wait. So I think being patient and being like honest and patient with myself has been really important. I think specifically for me, I wish that there was a little bit more like awareness about concussions and concussion issues, and I also wish it was a little bit more easy to access these resources. Sometimes it's really scary when you're struggling with these things to actually go and talk to people, so I just wish that it was a little bit more accessible and a lot more advertised that there are people and things that you can go to. Yes. That's all I can say. Yeah, throughout my youth, I had a lot of really good positive coaches. I had lots that were very difficult and were very like growth and hard training oriented, but on top of that, they were also really kind and really willing to talk and to listen. I try really hard to like manage my time properly. I spend a lot of time on my schedule trying to figure out where I can fit things in, and on top of that I also like doing like yoga and like a little bit of light meditation just to like kind of refocus myself. That's a really like fine line to walk. I think for the longest time, especially in the last 2 years, I found it really hard to figure out what is actually me wanting to push myself and what is me pushing myself too much. I've always really wanted to be like the best of the best, and I'm always trying to like push myself, but it does become very difficult to know when you're pushing yourself too much and when it's not just competition, it's actually like something else. I think that has a lot to do with it. There's this really big culture, especially in like higher level athletics, where you're just supposed to be working or eating or sleeping or in school or training, and so there's not really room for anything else. And I think lots of these athletes also hold themselves to very high standards, so it becomes very difficult too for them.